Finish striking down the drive. Benjamin sort of sought to it to use his medical prowess to pull out all the various organs that you think you might be able to get something decent for. Meanwhile, inside the abandoned hut, you find both Z and Mela not looking to. I believe they were stabilized at least.
Yeah.
But definitely in a fairly sorry state of affairs. You have a little look through the hut and whatnot, and you're quickly able to find a collection of dried eggs in the. So, what's your game plan?
Want to sleep here or?
Long
Yes,
rest
gone.
does sound good.
Should we burn all the eggs as well?
What?
We should check if there's... Or am I alive? No.
If you were knocked unconscious, no, you would not be back up just yet.
But should we burn all the spider eggs as well?
Yes.
Should we loot and check if there are survivors in the eggs?
That too.
The webbings.
Cut open the cocoons.
I cut open cocoons.
Very well. So, begin cutting open whatever cocoons you can find. The first few just seem to have small little baby spiders inside, which are quickly and very swiftly either scamper away or are killed without. You start breaking over more cocoons, and you're able to find vaguely humanoid, but it seems that whoever had been taken by the Dryad has long since been killed.
Well, that sucks.
We loot the body.
We loot?
Okay. So, make an investigation check, please.
Investigation.
13.
Okay. And yourself, Benjamin?
12.
Okay. So, the three of you, as well with you, have a little look around the hut. It seems as though this place has been abandoned for quite a few months, and you get the impression it was probably left in quite a hurry. There seems to be partially eaten food laid out across the table. You're able to find a few sort of personal belongings here and there which weren't taken with. But other than that, you're not really able to find anything of too significance. You're able to find a spare pair of clothes, but that's about it.
All right.
So, with that, you finish clearing out the basement. You have a little look around, but unfortunately, you're not able to find anything as such. And with that, as you kind of look out onto the nearby scenery, you see the sun just beginning to set.
Right, we should take care of our two hurt members and, Benjamin finish up stripping the spider lady of parts. Maybe we should have a long rest.
I've already started.
Well, I mean, I did light the fire in front of the building, so we could proliferate that area.
Okay. So, gathering around the fire up front, you all begin to settle down into a long rest of the evening. Mela and Z both come back to their senses, back into the land of the living once. You ache and definitely you're going to feel sore in the morning, but you're alive at... Okay. So, like I say, you settle on down into a long rest for the evening. But thankfully, at least this time around, it seems that nothing eventful happens over the course of the evening. You hear periodic walls sort of break out into howl into the far distance. But other than that, the night goes on without too much of any sort of incident or disturbance. So, you wake back up at the start of a new. You all feel fresh, ready to take on whatever's coming your way. Benjamin finishes collecting the last of the few organs, leaving behind just sort of the outer husk of the remains of the Drider. So, you pull out the parchment that you were able to find on the dead party that you stumbled across in the forest, and you reread it once more, and you're reminded that an individual by the name of Commodus Brightspark was the one asking for these various reagents, and he can be found somewhere in Winter by the looks of things. Doesn't specifically say where, but it does mention that he should be easy enough to find in the market district.
Alright, maybe he can identify your stuff as well then. See?
Maybe.
So, what is your course of action?
Hour from this stuff.
I think we follow what the letter says. Maybe cut open the Drider for parts.
It's been done, mate.
It's already been done. Well,
Efficiency, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
okay. We'll have a nap. I think the orc brought all the food, so bring it out, please.
Excuse me? That's my food.
You what?
I'm
You
joking.
what,
I'm joking.
mate?
Yeah, well, I mean, I figure we had some food during the long rest as well, so yeah.
Yep.
So
I had food.
I think with all this, we can head to Winter
Yes.
Crest.
Wintercrest, yes, the capital of the barony.
I remembered something. I was
Okay.
gonna say Wintertold first, but I think that's from Skyrim.
No.
That's my gibberish.
Okay, so with that, you finish your morning breakfast routine, you pack up whatever you can find, and you hit the road again once more. You're currently in the area known as Baldur's Folly. You're making pretty good progress. You reckon you're probably about halfway through the forest before you're able to find yourself back into the Arctic plains. So, who's leading the way?
Should I read again?
And we level up on the night.
You did indeed level up during the course of the evening.
Yeah, you go ahead, not Merla. The Dinos, just go.
Mela.
Okay, so Ella, you sort of sniff the ground, pick up some dirt for a little bit, and analyze the track. Make your survival roll. Fantastic. So, you've had a rough couple of days, to be honest. You've been fighting the drought. It definitely took its toll on yourself. And it seems as though you're having a bit of an off day today. You analyze the ground beneath you. You look to your left, and you have no memory of which way you came. You start moving on off to the best way you think is probably the right direction to go in. And after about a day's worth of progress, you soon realize you're not really getting anywhere particularly.
Are you alright, Mala? You look confused.
Maybe
That's
I
the
hit
third
my...
time we passed that tree.
Maybe I hit my head a bit too hard. Shit.
Maybe
During
someone
the fight.
else should take over.
I didn't want to say anything because you were doing it so cheerfully.
I will try.
Okay. get a survival check from yourself then? Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. So-
Plus-
What is the total?
Find it faster.
+2, so 21.
After you have a little bit of an intervention, you sort of pick up the reins and try and suss out the right direction. You see, you sort of clamber on up to a nearby tree and you use the better vantage point to assess the right way. You can see before you a clear direction and a path to meander, which should take you out of Baldur's Folly into the plain.
This way, guys.
You travel for a further 2 days, and with that, you move out of Baldur's Folly and you begin to head on. The frigid peaks are to your left-hand side, but thankfully it's pretty easy goings from there. Okay. On the 5th day of your travel, you finally see the city of Wintercrest on the horizon. That's why I need to load a new map. I did not have time for a 3D map, so you're just going to have to make do a 2D.
That's okay.
Approaching from the north, you see Oh, I better lock that shit to start off with. So, approaching from the north, you see Wintercrest taking up a lot of your sort of vision heading forward. The city seems expansive, to say the least. And just from sort of eyeing up the number of buildings around, this is easily a city of more than 5,000. Okay. So, you follow the road in, and there's a couple of individuals coming and going. There seems to be quite a fair bit of traffic, most of which seems to be merchants, you get the impression. But every now and then a patrol will sort of head on down the road.
Make sure my cloak is up and my face mask is up.
Okay. You get a few looks in your general direction as a party as a whole, but you think that's probably more so because of your racial and backgrounds than anything.
Racist.
Like they never seen a naked guy.
No, it's not like they've ever seen a naked guy, a panda, a warforge, and an orc traveling to.
The cat lady is fine.
Yeah, the cat lady.
Yeah, totally fine.
Dear lady.
Okay, so you arrive heading on into the city, and as you get to the city gate, you get flagged down by a nearby couple of guards. Looks like there's 5 on patrol, and they kind of just flag you to the side, and a few of them walk on up to your. I was going to say carriage, but you don't have a carriage, so they just kind of walk on up to you as and sort of gives you a good on look up and down and says, "What business you have in the city?"
Finishing a quest.
What kind of quest?
Body part retrieval.
You really say that?
Well, to clarify, my dear friend here, we stumbled upon a quest to retrieve some body parts from a drider that lived in the forest.
You took down Dryder.
Aye, we did.
Let me see it.
It wasn't easy though.
Show him like a bag full of body parts.
The guy immediately sort of moves his face away, and you think you see him almost throw up for a second, but yeah, he's able to sort of keep his stomach in check. All right. Just don't cause any trouble in here, and we'll get along just fine.
We'll Will be our best, sir.
And between you and me, if you're out at nightfall, keep your eyes about.
Why?
Any general trouble in town?
We've been having a few bits of trouble lately, yeah. That's why we've upped the number of guards on.
Kids gone missing?
Not quite. They haven't got. One of the other guards just hears this, immediately looks at you. He's like, "No, no, I won't ask." We've had a string of murders recently. 13 in the past.
Have you found any patterns to it?
Bodies have all been mutilated.
How? Mutilated.
Entrails left out in various patterns. Amputees, just sort of body parts thrown around in decorative patterns. Pretty sick shit, if you ask me.
Sounds like ritual sacrifice or something.
I don't know. The Justicars are looking into it. It ain't any of my business. I don't want to get involved.
All right, thank you.
If we would like to get more information, where can we find it?
The Justicar Embassy, like I say, they're holding the case.
Justicar.
Hey, you ever worked with some of them before?
No.
Consider yourself lucky.
Sounds like. All right, thank you guys.
No problems. And with that, they sort of usher you on inside. You make your way. So you're currently entering in from this entrance over here.
All right.
As you sort of make your way through, the first thing that's greeted you is various sort of market stalls, people coming and going. It is a lively atmosphere here. Your nostrils are greeted with all kinds of cooking smells, incense, a plethora of just fine smells greet your senses once more. You make your way through, and you can see in the distance quite a large tent in sort of the middle of the bazaar. And as you sort of move on nearer, you see various sort of performers here and there. Individuals on stilts blowing fire, and you see a number of what look like magicians creating various effects around them. And all in all, it seems to be a lively atmosphere as you sort of make your way through the street. So, you're in the city. You're now able to spend your time as you see fit. What's your first point?
What time is it?
At this time, you're probably looking at it's just gone past midday.
So the merchant is probably still on the market.
Pardon, sorry?
The merchants that the
Oh, very much so. Yeah, the market's alive and well and bustling.
It's lunchtime.
Shouldn't we just all together go and turn in the quest and talk to the guy?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to hold a bag of entrails longer.
I
We've
don't
been
mind.
holding the bag for 2 days. It smells.
I don't mind the smell. I can't smell.
And I showered last week, so it should be fine on that one.
Yeah. The winter cold keeps away the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to this
Scientifically proven.
guy. Yeah.
So, you have a little look around. There doesn't seem to be any sort of noteworthy signs that indicate where this guy is. How do you wish to try and track
And shall we just start screaming his name?
No.
It always works.
Maybe we should ask some similar market people that might know his business. What was his name again?
According to the parchment, his name was Commodus Brightspark.
Right, Spark. That sounds dwarven.
Yes, it does indeed.
They're
Herbalist or something.
Generally speaking, there might be some guilds or something like that. If they're sort of like a traveling mage or anything to that sort of degree, you know, a more mercantile person, you'll generally find them in the market. Depends what you're looking for. Scholars more so in guilds and organizations of that. Sellers more so in the markets.
All right. I walk up to the closest stall. I just walk past, and I ask, "We're looking for some guy called Quintus Fellstark or something." Guys, what's that name?
Cammy just bites off.
Wasn't it Dost or something?
I just start screaming, Cammy does Bright Star!
carnivorous.
No, I don't think that's
No.
the one.
It was carnivorous something or other. I'm sure it was carnivorous.
You sort of look up at the market stall. You see a small dwarf take off his goggles, his face covered in soot. Who the fuck you're looking?
No need to shout, Jesus.
Bring out the parchment.
Cammy does Bright Star!
Oh, Commodus.
Ah.
White bars.
Who the fuck's
Right.
that?
I don't know. We're asking you.
Well, you're shouting over at my stall.
Who are you?
He kind of looks to you for about 2 seconds. I need my random name. Furnace. The name's Furnace Blackspear.
Well, you're not the guy we're looking for.
Furnace, why can't you be helpful?
Be nice.
You came calling over to me.
Yes. Sorry about that. You don't know this guy we're looking for?
I might do.
I go to another stall.
Okay, well, where is he?
What are you in the market for? Could I say, you interested in a dagger? Maybe some new armor? You look like you could
No.
do with some.
We're just looking to turn in some body parts to him.
Okay. So he looks up to you and says, "Never heard of the guy. Sorry."
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, in that
do
case,
like
we'll
Benjamin.
just scream some more random names here in front of your stall.
He kind of looks to you, looks around, and sees that your screaming is drawing unwanted attention. And you're basically scaring off anyone from arriving at his stall. And looks in and says, All right. I may know where he is. You promise to bugger off?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Cammy does Bright Star.
Okay. So, he's one of those wizards. You heard of them, right?
Yes.
Well, he's got his own establishment up the road, and he kind of points you yonder. It seems to be through the market district, and then up the hill and then just. He says, Cowardice stays at his lodge. He calls. All right, 2 seconds. Of course. It's the Bright Spark establishment.
We should have
He
known.
runs a small little guild there. Also, the magical folk come and go. Very secretive, really. They don't really let in outsiders all that often.
Sounds fun. What district do
So-
we find this guild?
He sort of points you in the right direction. You lead forward from the market district. and then it's just on your left-hand side.
Oh, is that close, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So straight through the market district, turn left, and
Correct.
there you go.
Correct. Can't miss it.
Don't say that. I mean, I've been lost many times before.
It explains a lot.
If we
Thank
get
you very
lost,
much.
we'll just start shouting again.
Oh,
Now, I've upheld my side of the bargain. Why don't you all move on?
Fuck off! I just I toss him a silver and then thank him.
He
Or
looks
her.
at it for a moment and then just takes the coin.
I start shouting really loud. Hey guys, this is a good dwarf. Buy some stuff here.
Okay. Simmer down. Thank you very much.
Okay, so
Committer's Bright Star?
so as you continue shouting, moving through the district, you see a few individuals sort of you hold their attention for a moment, but more so of in an inquisitive fashion than anything else before they just continue on with their business. You make your way through the market district, following the instructions of Furnace, and then you finally end up at quite an elaborate-looking building. It seems to be 2 stories tall, and to one side of the building there seems to be a sort of a round tower with a pointy hat-esque roof on the top, for better terminology. The building itself, however, is gated, and there doesn't seem to be any signs of movement. You can, however, see a gold-plated sign on the which says, written in common, in very fancy script, the Bright Star establishment. What do you decide to do?
It is Bright Star.
I knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the gate, and there doesn't seem to be any response.
I knock louder.
On the second, more fearful knock, you begin to hear a voice echo out and says, "Yes." You look
Delivery.
around, but you see no one there.
Delivery.
Who said that? Show yourself, coward.
Are you
He says-
good?
He says, "A delivery of what?"
Try the body part.
And with that, the gate before you opens on up. There's a small walk to the front entrance. And as you get there, the door in front of you opens. Standing before you, you see a mid-40s looking gentleman. Human, male, and very well groomed. Hair tied back in a sort of a bun-shaped fashion. And a very sort of regal-looking purple robe with gold motifs worn in. He looks to you all and says, "You were not the ones who left this place."
Yeah, we found them in the forest and we found their parchment, so we figured we'd finish their quest.
One's loss is another's gain.
Aye,
And I presume you were successful on your mission?
indeed.
Then enter, please. He sort of heads on back into the manor and bids you to enter. You enter on into this fine manor. Chandeliers up above, bookcases stretching higher. And you definitely get a feeling that this is very much a building that's heavily infused with the arcane. You see various sort of candles that just hover against the walls themselves, lighting the place up magnificently. You head on into various sort of chambers, and sitting down at a fine dining table, Commodus sits and turns to you all. So, we have business to attend to. You have body parts that I need, yes?
Yes.
Very well, can I see?
Open the bag.
Okay. He looks and begins taking on out various sort of entrails and body organs and whatnot, just sort of throwing them onto this fine dining table, and getting stuck on in, having a little look at every sort of nook and cranny on. These will do well, yes. I hope it wasn't too much of an endeavor for you to find these.
2 people nearly died.
Well, finding them wasn't hard. Getting the damn thing killed was hard.
That it is, and as such, I am willing to reward you for your. Okay, so he has a little look at them. He sort of studies them long and hard. You did a fine job on the extraction, I must say.
Thank you.
1,500 gold for the lot.
I look at you and like, is this what we bought on now?
Sorry.
Should just take it.
You expect me to know what body parts are worth?
I don't know. Do you trade
Can
body
I-
parts at home?
Can I do like a check to see if he is like purposely like lowballing us? Like
You could either, for this check, use Arcane or Insight. If you're using Arcane, you're going to have to be trained.
I will use Insight.
Okay?
I will do as well.
Okay.
I'm trained for that shit, apparently. That's a default, no fuck off.
So basically, I ask him like, oh
Wow.
really?
Your default.
I ask him like,
Wow. You
like
guys
is
suck.
this price has good value, and probably he gives an answer to that, and for that I can use the Insight check.
The big 9.
I got a 7.
The guy's legit. He's on your level. He's giving you a good deal.
What did the parchment say?
I mean, 1,500 for entrails. Back in your home village, you just use that shit for decoration.
No, we eat it. Can't waste good meat.
Not these entrails. Well, you eat them once.
Yeah, they're a bit spicy.
Suck the bone marrow right out.
Benjamin, you said you wanted to do an insight check as well.
Yeah, 9.
Okay. You sort of study this guy. VMAC, you're, like I say, you just sort of take it at face value. This guy's giving you a good deal. You don't really put much thought into it, such as the barbarian way. Benjamin, you get the impression that this guy is a bit of a difficult person to read. You get the impression he doesn't particularly show his emotions very well. And just in general, he's particularly competent at dealing with these sort of negotiations. Nevertheless, you don't get any signs that he's giving you a bad deal. In fact, you're getting the impression you're getting a pretty decent deal out.
1,500, and you check out our magical gear that we have obtained in the meanwhile.
It sort of looks to you. Make a persuasion check.
Fuck. Come on, dice. There you go, 16.
16, you're saying?
Yeah.
That is a small price to pay. I'm willing to do that. And with that, you see a mage hand just sort of conjure into existence in front of you and shake your hand. A deal is done. Now, please. At which point, he sort of has a small pouch next to him, and he basically takes his arm and just flicks all of the organs into the pouch.
It's a bag of holding?
It looks that way.
Cool. I've never seen such a contraption.
So he sort of flicks his wrists and sort of clicks his fingers together and says, "You wish for me to identify your wares? Please place them on the."
Place my shield.
I placed
Okay.
the staff and the cloak that I got, but I don't know if the cloak's magic. There anyway.
Okay. So
Did anyone else find something at the cave?
I got nothing.
yep.
Okay.
Can I check? Can he check if I'm magical?
He gives you a look, and without even doing anything, he says, "No, you're not magic."
Ah.
Ah.
Okay. So first things first is the cloak. It is a cloak of protection. It increases your AC by 1.
Also saving throws, or is that another thing?
It might be. Let me check. I have way too many tabs open.
That's alright.
where-
I'll be...
That's
Yeah,
what.
it's the bog standard cloak of protection. It might be saving throws as well. You'll have to check.
Yeah, it should come up. So. Section.
Let me check. Yes, it is saving throws. Plus 1 bonus to AC and saving throws while wearing the. Okay. Next up is the shield. Okay, it is a shield of magical warding. It is a +1 shield. And
My AC.
yeah, I realize this is probably gonna not be great, but alas, it is what it is. So it's a +1 magical, and there are various sort of runes carved into its surface. Once a day, as a bonus action, you can activate the runes, creating a temporary zone of magical resistance. Extending 10 feet in all directions, all individuals who are currently within the zone gain advantage on all saves against magical-based effects.
Holy fuck.
The zone lasts for 1 minute, or until the shield's wearer is knocked unconscious. And once used, cannot be cast again until the dawn of a new day.
Magic resistance.
Magic
10 feet
resistance,
radius.
10 feet radius.
Magic resistance is advantage on saving throws and advantage on damage against from spells, right?
I think it's just saving throws, it's not the damage.
Okay.
And finally, you have the staff.
Yes.
Its name is Swift Song.
It has a name.
It's a rare item, requires attunement. It's a +1 magical item, and it also has 5 charges. Upon becoming attuned, its wielder can expend one of these charges when hitting an opponent with one of their attacks in order to deal an extra d6 force. Alternatively, by expending 3 of these charges, its wielder can instead gain the effects of an action surge.
You should name it Taylor Swift Song.
At the dawn of a new day, it regains 1d4 plus 1 charge. He looks to you and says, "Is there anything else?"
I whisper to you, this guy seemed good and trustworthy.
Yes and no.
Okay, well, while they're whispering, I just shout, okay, you've paid good. You got any more quests?
Nevertheless, I am now going to be busy with this.
Can we help?
You have brought me my reagents, and while I do appreciate the enthusiasm, this requires a delicate.
Okay, since you're pretty smart, do you know anything about the troubles in this town with the kidnapping and killing?
That's not kidnapping.
Oh, yeah, it was killing, yeah.
Terrible business, that, yes.
That was the other town.
Yes, I know, and this is about killing.
There has been rumors circulating of dark deeds in these streets as of late.
Weren't we supposed to go back to that town, actually?
We're here now. Doesn't matter.
I thought we had like an appointment with the god lady.
They can wait.
Okay.
I mean, by the time we go back, we can probably buy like an elephant with all this coin we can earn here.
It's not the suitable temperature here for elephants.
Not with that attitude. He says, yes, this is troubling news to say the least. I can't remember a case like it. How, may I ask, did you find out about such deeds?
The guards told us.
They must have taken a liking to you.
No, they didn't.
No, we threatened them with the bag of entrails.
Well, we showed them the bag of entrails. And that was enough.
Very well, you have your ways about you. I will say this. If you're looking for anyone, I'm sure the town guard and the Justicars, they are the ones looking into this case. I'm sure that if you prove yourself competent, they will take you up on your offer to aid. For me, however, this is outside of my realm of expertise.
But you don't
And
have
now-
like someone
Sorry?
you know that does sort of things. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, magicals, magicians. They're all the same.
Magic is a wide area of expertise, my friend.
Fine, we'll go to Jessica.
Would you say your druid friend over there knows about cultists? About mastering the arcane? No. Before you even say anything, he just says no. You don't know.
I look upset.
Now, is there anything else I can help you with?
Where's the god lady political thing?
You're going to have to be more specific, my friend.
Who should we talk to about this people killing a problem?
I see. Well, you can either head to the Justicar embassy, or...
Justicar embassy, that's what the god said, now I remember, I think.
Yeah. Or you can speak to how the fuck do you pronounce that? Enmora Stonewalker.
Is it a dwarf?
She is a dwarf. She is the
Damn
captain
it.
of the guard here in the city.
What race is this guy actually?
Human.
Okay.
I asked if he is friends with the Baron of Whitecrest.
I've met the Baron a few times, yes.
Are you aligned with his ways and things?
He thinks long and hard for a moment, and then he sort of studies you up and down. You get the impression he's trying to sort of assess where you're going with this line of questioning.
Yeah.
We've had our disagreements over time, but like any professionals, we work together to achieve our outcome. Have you met the Baron?
Indirectly.
This surprises me.
Not an enjoyable experience.
See, I've heard that a lot from people. But it takes all sorts. We can't all be the same. Now, I must insist I have some work to get on with, but you are more than welcome to return to this place if you have something of use to.
We will stay around in town for a while if you need
Oh,
some
I'm
help,
not going
just
anywhere.
let us know. Yeah, just let us know if we can help you with something.
Very well, good day. And with that, he claps his hand, and all of you dematerialize into a mist. And you find yourselves springing back into existence outside the gate of the establishment.
What?
Yowie, 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 yowie.
Oh, that was a rush. He could probably charge money for such a ride.
I need a drink after that.
You always need a drink.
It's true. So, you find yourself on the streets once more. The conversation didn't take any more than, say, half an hour or so. You have the Justicar. You could alternatively go and see Mora Stonewalker, who seems to be the captain of the guard. Or you could do some shopping, or find yourself a tavern for the evening. Your call.
I heard tavern.
I mean, we should probably go. I'd prefer it if we talk to the head of the guard before we go to the Justicars. Maybe if we go and query the guard before nightfall and maybe find an inn, and then tomorrow we go to the Justicar.
So what was your priority now for now, sorry?
We should probably go talk to the head of the guard.
Okay. So, with that, you try and sort of make your way through finding the head of the guard. The barracks of Wintercrest stands out quite, not ominously, but you can see it from most places inside the city. It is this building over here. And as you sort of make your way on down, trying to find your way around, you see various sort of patrols running drills. You see a number of sort of detachments practicing archery and whatnot. And there just seems to be a very sort of lively militaristic feel to this complex. As you make your way on inside, you see a small gnome sitting atop a high chair with in front of a desk, and you get the impression it's probably a reception area of some kind. She looks up to you all and says, "My, you're a tall one."
Got the best deals anywhere.
You're just short.
And you're really tall. What can I help you with?
We're looking.
Are we looking
for the lady? What's her face?
Armorous.
I forgot the name already. Who?
Armorous Stonewalker.
Carnivorous Brother?
This was. Yes.
She looks to you and says,
Head of the guard.
"And do you have an appointment?"
Yes.
I shoot a side glance at Benjamin and I step back and let him talk instead.
We have an appointment for 3 o'clock.
Make a deception check, please.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, lying to the guards, what could happen?
An 8.
Big. She looks to you and just kind of slants her head a little bit, and says, "I'm afraid she's out at the moment. Can I take a message?"
Yes. We want to look into the people who start killing people in this town.
She looks at you with a very confused look. Come again?
We want to look into the people who are killing people in this town.
Excuse my.
We kill the killers.
We just want to her to get more information on the killings going around in this
We want to look
city.
into the people who are killing people.
I heard what you said, Benjamin. I'm just trying to translate.
That's what we're trying to do.
Make a persuasion check, please, you. Hey. Okay. With that, she seems to take on a much more friendly tone with you. And she says, "Oh, okay. Well, in that case," she sort of reaches off from her high chair and just moves around the back of the desk, kind of disappearing for a moment as the desk is way taller than her. She moves on around and then she knocks on a door, and you hear a disgruntled, "Yeah," coming from the back. The gnome sort of speaks up and says, "Enmora, we have company that hear about the killings." And after sort of a bit of a pause, a door opens and you see, clad in full plate mail, is this quite regal-looking dwarf. Definitely get the impression that she is. She's seen a few battles in her time. You get. She kind of has various sort of scars across her hands and at the side of her. And she kind of just looks up to you and says, she kind of looks to you and says, "And who the fuck are you?"
Oh, we're just
We are people.
travelers. We
Want to look
came
into the
here
people.
We turn in a quest that we found out in the forest. One of your mages guilds in town, and we heard some rumors about killings going on.
Let me guess,
Just
Camadus.
wanted to- Yes.
Cannibals.
That bright-eyed motherfucker. What has he been running his mouth off now?
Try the body parts.
Actually, no. Benjamin, shut the fuck up, I'm talking.
That's the spirit.
We are just the
So,
people who are looking into the people who are
Camadus.
killing people. That's my primary objective.
So Camadus didn't say anything in particular about this, actually. It was some of your guards down the gate.
Interesting. At which point she sort of pulls out a small little parchment and just starts writing a few notes.
And also, they told us to, because we asked them, and they said that we should probably go to the Justicar to get some more information. But I tend to trust the information from guards better than...
You don't want to be dealing with those overzealous bastards, let me tell
my
you that.
feelings exactly. So
All right.
that's why we
How
came
about
here.
you all head on into my office so we can speak more privately?
Aye.
At which point she kind of nods for you all to enter. It's cozy. It's very much a dwarven-size office,
Oh,
but
God.
there's enough room for all of you. Albeit a bit of a squeeze. As the
Can I,
last... Sorry?
can I like fit through, or do I have to like
You have to
duck
slam
down?
your head for sure. Yeah, it's a bit of a bad fit for yourself.
Okay, I decide to sit on the floor.
Is this a good chance to turn into a bear?
Don't you go bearing on me.
Oh, I should have gone here myself.
She closed the door and then goes back round and sits on the desk. The fuck is that?
That was the washing machine. It's done.
I said, fuck.
And
So-
I made a bitchy ass noise, man.
You have a little gaze across the office, and it's quite plain, really. You see various sort of weapons on display, all of which look like they've seen a fair bit of battle in them. But other than that, everything's just completely barren, other than a desk, some parchment that she was writing on, and a chair at the back.
No plants?
Plans? What do you mean by
Plants.
plants? Oh, plants. Oh, no plants, no.
Oh, I go outside and take a plant. One of the flower pots that's like in the main building.
Yeah. Okay.
They're dwarves. They only like gold. So we should give her rocks.
So she sits back down behind her desk and looks at you all and says, "You're certainly a peculiar bunch." But then she kind of eyes Benjamin, you, and VMAC and says, "But I reckon you could do a fair bit of good work while you're here. So I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Your adventurers can be, how shall we say, not the most reliable of individuals at times, but you get stuff done. So, the killings have been going on for about 7 days now. Tonight will be the 8th evening since the first incident. They seem to mostly happen over the course of the night. And we found several, what's the way to put it? And most of them have either had some kind of mutilation performed, or has had body parts removed and rearranged into various symbolic gestures.
So, some kind of ritual sacrifice.
That's the current. That's currently the. What is it? The leading thought.
Wasn't
Yeah.
the Driders kills all into pretty pattern?
Yeah, in spider pattern.
I ask her if it's spidery.
No spidery patterns. No.
Can she like draw on the map where all the killings has taken place?
Okay. She takes one of her parchments and begins writing on down. Okay. So let's go with.
Murders location.
There's been a murder.
Triangulate the murder, please. Where?
That was my thinking. We draw lines, and then we're like, okay, the next one is here.
You've watched too much CSI Wars.
Enhance.
It's obviously going to be Commodus Brightspark.
Yes.
He's the
Oh, no.
linchpin of all of it.
No, it's going to be his boss, that dwarf that we annoyed at the very
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Maybe it's all suicide.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then finally number 9.
9.
That is
So, there are 9 different sites. However, a few of them have been couples who have been mutilated and killed, making the 13 victims in total.
I think they're just collateral damage.
Most of them seem to be in back alley streets away from the pub. As a result, we've been able to contain any sort of hysteria for now.
Oh god.
Dot the dot, yo! Dot the dot!
The Justicar are the ones leading the investigation, but quite frankly, I've never trusted those. They're overzealous, and they're most likely to create collateral. So, here's the deal. If you can solve it before this breaks out into any more, before this breaks out of control, then I'm more than willing to send in a good word and give you a handsome payout from the Baron himself.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Do we have any connections between the killings? Do
We're currently investigating, but so far the only connections we've had is a few of the murders have involved.
Couples,
Most of
you say?
them seem to be ordinary citizens of these parts, though a couple of them have also been merchants from further.
It means dead indeed.
Okay, so they're regular people. Some of them are merchants. Some of them are couples.
Yeah.
Uh,
And all of them have been mutilated.
okay. And who likes to mutilate corpses?
That's a good question. When you find out the answer, let me know.
You see what I have to work with here?
Yeah.
I don't envy you.
Is it coming up to the Village of the Week award?
The greater good.
The greater good.
Everyone mums is packing around here.
There's not been any murders around this way, so I think we should start there.
Okay, that's an interesting
Yeah.
take.
Oh wait, Brian.
Hmm.
Let's make this more difficult. Can you order the numbers on which days they were? So which is number 1? Which is number 2?
Okay, so I will call them out. You write them down however you want.
Ah!
Rogue, write it down.
Number 1.
Hang on, I can't see the map.
Oh god, stop spamming time here.
Okay,
Number
so
1.
Number 1 is... Oh, yeah, just write it on the map.
That was on the first night.
The first night.
Number 2.
Dos.
On the second night. Number 3
Tres.
and number 4 were
Cuatro.
both on the third night.
Oh.
What comes after cuatro?
Number 5 was a
Funfo.
couple.
Wow, I'm trying. Oh, an F.
F.
Nice. Number 6 was also a couple.
Four cup.
Number 7, also a couple.
7 cents.
Number 8 was a group of 3 merchants. And finally, last night was a lowly citizen. But he might have been lonely, who knows?
One. I haven't noted down the 1 to 4 if they're lonely or not.
And were they murdered in their home or in an alleyway?
That's what we're trying to ascertain.
Yeah, but where were the bodies found?
Oh, in the back alley.
In the back alley. Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, you can also see but so you don't think the bodies have been dragged?
There definitely seems to have been signs of movement and the struggle, yes. But as to their original source, we're not too. If you take this job on, I will speak with the guards and I will allow you access to the crime.
It all makes sense now.
I definitely do think that this is a good spot.
Yeah.
I agree, but I still think we should investigate the different spots, though, just to see if we can find any connections.
Okay, but it's a big town. We probably have got 4 hours before the next killing starts.
That's alright.
I want to find somebody that sells a monocle.
A magic monocle?
Just a monocle and a hat.
A pipe.
And a pipe. A magnifying glass.
Can I be a Watson?
Yeah.
Is it the start of Z's investigatory adventure?
Yeah.
I have good investigation.
Alrighty. So from there, do you ask any other questions to Enmora?
Where are they mainly going to be patrolling?
We have most of the patrols on the highway, just keeping an eye. The main roadways, just keeping an eye out of. We have occasionally sent guards to patrol some of the back alleys, but there's so many of them, we can't do it efficiently.
Are there any known ruffians?
There's a few guilds that operate in the shadows for sure. They won't. They'll keep the what's the wording? They'll keep at bay when they see us about. But like I say, the city is so large, we can't be everywhere at once.
And I take it none of them have the same civil.
They've been in this town for a while, and while certainly they go through ebbs and flows every now and then, we've never seen something like this.
See the bodies?
She kind of looks at you for a moment, thinks, and says, "We have them in the morgue, yes. You could potentially... if you say it."
Any organs missing?
A few, yes. Heart seems to be a regular one, though sometimes liver, lungs, kidneys.
Cannibal?
I mean, it could be a whole bunch of things.
Monster.
Like I say, you wish to take the job on, be my guest and do your investigation. You find out what it is and you bring us proof, there'll be a handsome reward in it. But, no proof, no reward. You want to start just laying waste to people, I'm sure the Justicar will have not have your back, but that's more of the Justicar's business.
Alright, so I got a question. Is like a certain area of the town like a richer area compared to the other?
There are certainly more affluent neighborhoods, yes.
Which ones, what's like the separation between the two?
Okay. So the most affluent are going to be kind of here, here, and the outskirts of here. While the less affluent neighborhoods are sort of going to be especially close to around the market. Yeah.
So that means that on kill 7, a noble was killed? Who was it?
Correct. She rummages through her paper. Two seconds. Sarek was the name.
Was it the
Sarek Green Tender. Green Tender.
Was it the head of the house or family members?
Member of a guild. The Green Tenders seem to deal in a lot of agricultural wares, especially transportation and logistics. No, not at all. That was the only one. Like I say, we've been conducting the investigation for a week now, and finding links between the various victims has been tenuous.
I think the only real way is to catch him in the act.
She says, so, and with that, she sort of jumps off her chair and says, "You wish to see the bodies, yes?"
Yes, please.
Right. We'll have a quick drink break there, and then we'll
Well, look at bodies, great.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds great.
Dead bodies. Dead bodies.
So yeah, that means I can get some tea.
Yes.
Or cola.
Give me tea. Or cola.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Waffle.
Ruff, ruff.
Nice.
I'm back.
Welcome, Black.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome, Black.
Oh, yes. All right. So we're waiting on anybody.
Quincy, I think. Alright, well,
I'm gonna say the N word.
no.
Netherlands?
Indeed.
Veel hell is vandaag. So,
What?
yes.
The weakest national anthem you ever seen before.
At least you guys have one.
An effort was made. Okay. So, with that, you're brought on out from the small little office, and you're taken down deeper into the barrack. As you make your way, there seems to be not a cordoned off area, but definitely an area that separates the main sort of hallways and what. And as you sort of step on it, you see a number of tables have been set up with blankets sort of thrown on top of them. Two half elves turn to you as you enter on it, who you get the impression are probably the morticians. And they sort of look. They look to Enmora as she enters. Okay. So. Two seconds. Okay. So, you're sort of brought on, and the door is closed behind you. And Mora sort of speaks up and says, Cyril and Janor, these are our petitions looking into the bodies. And then she sort of turns to you all and says, seems as though we have found ourselves with some adventurers looking to aid us in this investigatory. These two are my best, what's the word? Scholars in the field of biology, and they have been helping me assist with the bodies that have been found. At which point she sort of walks between all the different tables and sort of throws off the blanket. And you can see before you are the various different cadavers of the investigation so far.
So, I got a question.
They sort of pick up their ears and all look at you. Yes.
My question is, what races are the people that have been killed?
Okay. So you give a quick glance over the 13 different bodies. The majority seem to be human. 8 of them. Three of them are dwarf. And the last 2 are half elves.
No gnomes, I see.
No gnomes.
Aha!
Never trust a gnome.
Well, it could also be Drow, Orc, Goliath.
With all due respect, one of them sort of turns around and says, "We don't have too many of your kind wander into civilization."
I wonder why.
Because they end up getting murdered.
Yeah. So, you have a glance over each of the different bodies. The descriptions were indeed correct with the mutilations. You see various sort of various blasphemous displays. Some of them have had their arms basically torn apart into various sort of patterns. Others have had various organs removed, leaving basically just a husk of a torso in its place. All of them, you immediately get the impression, have died in quite horrific and violent means. Even the best sort of appearing of the bodies has definitely seen signs of struggle and various wounds across its surface.
So, how? So the body parts, like arms and stuff, have they been cut off or torn off?
Uh-huh. I would say, given your background, I'm just going to give it to you.
Oh, I'm not trying to ascertain this myself. I'm asking the medical students.
Okay. I see. So, with that, it appears as though they have been torn off.
That requires strength.
And it does. Yes, the cuts are far too imprecise to be a bladed weapon or anything as such. It very much looks like something has just been torn asunder.
Are there any bite or claw marks?
Make a medicine check. Well, actually, I would also allow an investigation check. Yeah. Yes, I roll.
Medicine 12.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely look like there's been animalistic sort of mutilation and marks, like shreds marks and stuff like that. What does pique your interest, however, as you get nearer, there also seems to be signs of moss growing out of the individual. You see various deposits of what looks to be a small, very dark green, almost grayish hue of moss sort of growing on the inside of these individuals.
Can I do
And
an
even
nature check?
yeah, you can. And even the oldest of them appear to have sort of visible signs from the outside of this moss.
Alright, so I would like to do a nature check to determine where they're
Yeah.
from. or where we've seen them, if we've seen them before, or what they're associated with.
The moss or the individuals?
The moss.
Okay.
And I already rolled, so that was the 20.
Okay. So with that, 2 seconds.
Can just cheat with this dice rolling mechanic.
Okay.
We should just use the dice tower instead then.
You failed.
It's hard, okay, to put it in there.
Okay. So, oh, sorry.
Like the Germans say, Übung macht Meister. Don't they, Sindus?
What?
Übung macht Meister.
Arbeit macht frei.
No, that's this one.
What did you say you got in your nature check? Sorry, please.
I got a 20. Natural 20.
So, you recognize this somehow is Ashmos. And Ashmos is very interesting. It is, while it is a natural plant, so to speak, it is not native to this plane. Instead, it's generally only found in areas of desecration.
Okay, where's the graveyard?
Wait, so it's a grave moss?
Yes. It's a grayish colored the deep green / grayish colored moss. And VMAC knows that it's called ash moss and it's not native to this plane. Generally only growing in areas of extreme desecration.
Okay, so I asked the captain of the guard, or the Juscaliers, whatever you call them, has there been any grave robbing issues lately?
Not that I'm aware of. We've had the occasional theft here and there, but most seem to be in it for burial items and things of that nature.
And where is the graveyard on the map?
So the graveyard is just outside the walls of the town. City.
Which is? Where? Like,
Oh.
that way?
So it would be here.
Alright.
There's a small church here, and there's a graveyard around on the outside.
Are the town gates closed after night?
Of course.
Okay, so there probably is not a way for a monster to get in from the outside.
Oh, well.
We allow people in after nightfall, but of course, we have to identify them and make sure that they're who they say they are. We can't just have traveling merchants who arrive after nightfall be shut out for the evening.
Do you have any catacombs?
He kind of looks to you and says, "There are."
There are?
The catacombs intertwine quite heavily with the sewage system, yes.
That might be a way for them to get access.
Do you have a map of the sewer?
That place is a labyrinth of tunnels that have been expanded on for years and years.
Whereabouts are we at the moment?
So, you are currently in the barracks, which is here, near towards the center of the town.
I think we should check out 5 and 1, see if there's any streets nearby.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Somebody flushed a fucking fish down the toilet and now Xander's come back to eat us all.
Oh my god. Okay. So, are you done with your line of questioning? Anything else that you wish to look or ask?
I don't think I got anything else.
So, what's your take on this? I look on at the medical students.
Okay. It's a perplexing case for sure. If we were to have a look, we definitely don't think it's any of the main girls that are involved in this. This is too animalistic and almost barbaric in function. If we were to hazard a guess, something or someone is skulking around the shadows of the city, preying on those who are unable to defend themselves.
Have you had any similar incidents in the past,
Not
or
once.
like
Nothing like
fritters
this.
from the Underdark?
Not as far as I'm aware. We have our guards out on patrol, making sure that there's no tunnels that have been bored to the surface. But even Drow, they're not like this.
No.
They take slaves into their own domain. They don't butcher them in some rituals of some kind.
Maybe aspiring warlocks. Oh, well, I'm just reaching. Maybe we should go investigate. Mela, were you about to say something?
Yes, just are there any newer people in town who appeared just before they started?
No one of substance. I mean, we have people come and go all the time, but no one who's on our radar.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You have any other questions or any leads, feel free to come back and we can discuss the matter at hand. But otherwise, I must be adamant. Please keep chatter of this subject to a minimum outside of these walls.
Do you? Would it be possible for us to get a token of sorts to let the guard know that we are with you? I have this, but this is from another city, so I show her my guard's medallion.
Yeah. So they kind of look to one another and more sort of nods, says, I can get you something. At which point she sort of moves on over to her. She sort of leaves the room, and after a few minutes comes back with a similar deal, showing the city's. Show that to any of the guards. I'll make sure a word is passed out that you're not to be intervened.
Thank you.
Now, if you don't mind, this isn't the only issue that I've got to face with today. I'm going to leave you there to deal with your work.
All right.
With that, and more, leaves you to it.
Off we go.
Okay. So, which is the site that you wish to visit first?
Number 1.
Okay. So you leave the barracks and you enter on back out onto the city streets. You notice sort of a little bit of time. You're probably looking at sort of mid to late afternoon by this point. You make your way through the city streets, and then you sort of branch on off into the alleyways to find the first of the crimes. As you sort of make your way through, it's very quiet. You sort of, as you come on through, you see various sort of crates and whatnot that have been discarded in this back alley. A few people sort of come and go, but it's otherwise very quiet. And as you turn around a corner, you can definitely see the crime scene, or what it was. You see resting up against a nearby wall a large sort of splatter of dry blood. And an attempt has been made to sort of clean the place up, but it's definitely it's not progressed particularly far. You see sort of various tracks coming and going, but other than that, the crime scene itself is fairly simplistic. There's no guards on duty here. It seems as though the guards have found it what they needed to and just left the scene to go about. So you sort of kneel down close to the wall where all this dry blood is. You can definitely sort of see an impression of where the body was, but it is now obviously been taken back to the morgue.
Look for moss, look for sewer grates.
Make an investigation check.
I'll join.
While Rogue's looking for that, I want to look like if there are any orphan children in the area.
Orphan children, okay.
What's this with you and orphan children?
I have my connections.
I got 8.
Nice.
I got 13.
I've got what was it? Investigation.
Diabetes.
I got 5.
Nice. VMAC, you see no orphan children about.
Okay.
In fact, it's very quiet.
Too quiet.
Z and you begin investigating sort of like the general surroundings. And while Z, you're not really able to ascertain much, to be honest. You sort of look around and you do see a nearby sewer grate resting in front of it.
Hmm.
As you move on over to the sewer grate, it's slightly ajar and looks like it's been open.
I open up the door, it's here.
All right. I think we got something, boys and girl.
And Bear.
Rawr.
I have no gender.
Well, man.
We're on to something.
Oh, yes.
We found a sewer entrance.
You did indeed. You found a sewer entrance.
Are
Into
there
the
any?
mines.
Were there any signs of moss and stuff around the sewer entrance as well?
You had a quick look, but nothing sort of grabbed your attention. No.
Hmm. Okay, but there are clear signs of it being disturbed in the
Yes,
recent
yeah,
days.
very much so. It's basically like the sewer grate has been left not fully to the side, but it's been left ajar slightly.
Hmm. All right. Any other signs like on the walls around the site of something big coming up from the sewer grate, or just like
Okay. You sort of study for a moment. What did you get on your investigation?
13?
Okay. So you have a little look on through, and the ladder leading down from the grate, I imagine you're pulling the grate aside, right?
Yes.
The ladder itself has buckled, like something big and heavy has tried climbing on up from it. And as you look around on the surface of the street, you can see large sort of disturbances whereby something has either sort of been thrown into a nearby wall or sort of splinters of wood from a crate that's been smashed up.
Okay. Right. So I take notes, and well, it would be interesting to see the next site.
Okay.
Guys, are you done here?
I want to have a little looky down the.
Okay. So what, you're clambering on down?
I just like looking what's on the other side of the grate and a bit further down.
Okay.
Not go into it, but
So,
just...
like I say, you've pulled the grate aside just to have a little look down. You can see a ladder leading down probably 15 feet or so.
I'll climb to the bottom of the ladder.
I grab your shoulder before you do that. Are you sure? Because we don't know what's down there yet.
I just want to have a look at the bottom. That won't go any further.
I'll come down with you just to make sure. Guys,
What does it smell like?
Smells like
Ass.
sewer.
yeah, we'll make noises. If
Okay.
something's.
I mean, I
something's
can't
up.
really help because I can't see anything down there. So if
Oh.
you need help, just shout real loud. I'll light a torch first, and then in like 5 minutes I can help.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. I'll climb down with you. See.
Okay. So, with that, you clamber on down the ladder. As you're sort of making your way down, you definitely get the impression that this ladder has been... It's been fairly hefty. It's been buckled, and something big and hefty has moved on it to the point where the ladder is actually quite rickety and dangerous. Nevertheless, you're able to sort of make your way down without too much of an issue. As you reach the bottom, the stench is unbearable. Definitely, you have entered in a running sewer.
It's not too bad.
There is, yeah, you're fine with this.
Hey, breathe through your mouth.
I put my mask up again.
There is a stone walkway, however, that provides a good 10 feet of sort of movement around the flow of water, however, so you're able to keep yourself dry.
That's good at least.
As you reach the bottom and you sort of look around, you see a number of signs of moss growing at the base of where the ladder is. And on closer inspection, it very much seems to be more ash moss.
Mm. How does the pathway lead from here? Is it just one each way, or is it a crossing of some?
You have a quick look. It very much seems to be leads each way, but it then breaks out into a crossroads in both directions, about 20 feet in front of you. The lighting here is very basic. You do see some amount of light in the distance, giving the impression there are the occasional braziers, but they're very low light braziers, and they're probably only spaced out to give you a bit of light every 50 to 100 feet or so.
Is there any signs of footprint?
Okay, make a survival check, please.
No, that is 4.
I mean, you study the stonework, but it hides footprints incredibly well.
Back up now.
Yeah, we should. Let's maybe. I mean. All right, so we got that. To what direction? Is it like south and north? Or...
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So, if we follow this south, we would probably end up at the 5th crime scene, I'd say. But it's safer to take it above ground, so I think we should leave.
Yes, Quincy.
Yes. Making sure everyone who passes by that
Nice.
if we get looks, that's what I say to them.
Quick question. You and Z, how much do you weigh?
Fuck.
I never wrote that down. 1 second.
What does a panda weigh? 2 tons.
We are talking about a ninja
It's a
panda here.
panda, not a panzer.
Oh no, they weigh 80 ton.
I
Fucking Cinco up here as well as he's standing.
Bolos, 1 second.
Alright, take your time.
That's the Baxi. You're a Pandaxi.
Pandex.
Pandas are fatter than cats, okay?
Yeah, but my character's based on the...
You're a fat cat, okay?
Panda.
No, there's no such thing as slim pandas.
It's just fluff.
What are you on about?
Age, it doesn't have...
Okay,
well,
so with that,
I'm about 6 feet and 143-ish pounds.
okie dokie. What armor are you wearing? You?
Yep, I am very heavy armor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Panda's roughly about 100 pounds.
okay. So you and Z, you begin clambering up the ladder, and after you get a few rungs up, you definitely feel as though the ladder's getting very rickety. And as you take another step up, you just feel the entire ladder just breaking off from the grate above.
Can I try and jump onto the opposite wall? Assuming there is a wall.
Make an acrobatics check.
Can I make an acrobatics check just to land gracefully and maybe?
They're dead. It's a 15 feet fall. No one
You're
can
15
survive
feet
that. No one can survive that.
Except a monk.
Let's say 16.
Oh, wow.
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
Sorry, used the wrong number there. I used my athletics.
I got
Second boy.
18.
Okay.
Wait.
So
I don't know if I can do this. One of my new spells called
Mhm.
Wind Wall.
okay.
I don't know if it will work. I just need to read.
I know one of
Strong
them.
wind rises from the ground at the point you choose within range. You can make the wall up to 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and 1 foot thick. You can shape the wall as long as it's a continuous path. But it's actually a damaging. Fuck. You take 3d8 on a failed save.
It's fine.
No, I'm not gonna use that. I was
Alright.
thinking maybe I can push them up with it, but I'm probably gonna kill them.
Yeah. Well, anyways, since we said acrobatics and not athletics, I'm roll a 9, so
Nice.
for 13.
Okay, so with that, as the ladder begins to collapse in and sort of break off from the grate, Z, you sort of do a quick jump onto the other side, and you're able to get one of your paws clambering onto the side of the manhole and just sort of grab hold of it before you you sort of look on down and you see you falling with hitting the stonework on the bottom. You're able to sort of brace yourself a little bit to not take the full impact, but nevertheless, you do still take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the.
Oh, that's not
Reasonable.
I climb down to see if he's okay.
Okay, you begin clambering on down the hole. A few sort of bruises here and there, but nothing which cause him any issues. Just a bit of a tumble. You do, however, look up, and this whole manhole is now without a ladder.
Well, I'm okay getting up there, are you?
No. I
You
mean,
need
we
a
could
rope?
use my rope. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
You
give
could
me the rope
use
and I'll climb up.
armor.
All right. Oh, do you guys up there have a rope as well?
Of course we do.
We're
Yeah.
adventurers and shit.
50 feet of hempen rope.
Okay. So, you throw the rope on down.
We
How are you
want-
doing?
We want to tie the rope to something very sturdy nearby, if that's possible.
You have a look around. You see a few crates, but that's probably the best you're going to get in a back alley.
I think I'll hold it as well.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
You sort of throw the other end down the manhole cover, and you give it a good old tug. It seems fairly secure. You begin climbing.
Now it's athletics.
It is indeed athletic,
Oh yeah.
and I would also like VMAX to make an athletics check, please.
No problem.
But I'm also holding.
Mela, you can make one as well.
20 something. 23.
Yeah, I've got +7.
So
I got-
helpful.
I got 25.
I am
but-
helpful.
Okay. So Mela, you feel as though you're giving a real good help here, but you actually you sort of look around and you realize you're just sort of pulling on the other end of the coil that's really just attached to the crate itself. VMAX pretty much doing all of the heavy lifting here to try and get you out of the situation. You're able to sort of clamber on up the rope with the help of VMAX. You sort of arrive back at onto street level without any sort of difficulty.
So, let's go to the city guard.
We should probably stake out crime scene number 5 as well, just to
report
just to
this.
make sure. Report what?
You destroyed city property.
Fuck off. Let's go to the next one.
Oh,
We can report it after we've been to the next one.
okay.
Such words. I thought you were a kind person.
I am a kind person.
He just loses his shit when he falls off a ladder.
So, with that, you sort of clamber on out onto the street and you make your way due south to the next crime scene. As you're making your way through the alleyways and whatnot, it's a fairly simplistic route. You just keep on heading south. This time, however, the crime scene actually still has a cordon on, but it seems as though it hasn't quite been returned back to sort of public use just yet. There's no guard here, however, just sort of a cordon on the area. Various blood stains and blood spatters are strewn across the nearby. You see various signs of a struggle that were here, and you also sort of see lumps of flesh that have just sort of been discarded onto the ground and haven't been collected with the remainder of the body. So,
Sloppy work.
very much so.
All right. First, we just walk around the area a bit where
Okay.
it's not sealed off,
Yeah.
just to see if the crate is outside of the area or.
It
This
is
is-
just outside, so you can think of the crime as sort of like on a crossroads, and the grate itself is just slightly off from that crossroads around a corner.
And this one is ajar as well.
And this one seems to be no. This one seems to be fully in.
Have it been disturbed though?
You get a little bit closer, and it definitely seems as though it's been disturbed. Yeah. And as you sort of look at the rim, you see ash moss around the outside of the rim of the manhole.
Okay. So we pretty much confirmed our suspicions. I lift the grate a bit and just
Okay.
to see if there are the same signs to the ladder as the previous one.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
I
so
want
that's confirmed.
to climb down the bottom again.
Okay.
Ladder.
You sort of clamber on down to the bottom and you have a little look around. Here you seem to be in the middle of a crossroads section of the sewer system. And there's like a grate covering the top of the crossroads, allowing you to access all 4 different paths.
Okay. So I take it one goes westerly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No southwest. Yeah.
I will clamber back up and relay the information.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. I want to check for footprints first.
Okay. Investigation, motherfucker.
Five.
No signs of any footprints.
I clamber back up and
You're not used to having to look for footprints among hardened stuff. It's not quite as forgiving as soil or snow, unfortunately.
I think we should check out 7 next. They provide us with
And maybe an underground connection to the graveyard or church.
Okay. So, with that, you find yourself heading on towards number 7. By this point, it's very much sort of the early parts of the evening. Sort of the daytime merchants are closing down their stalls, and evening festivities are starting to get into swing. The sun is also losing its strength, and darkness begins sort of creeping in on the city. So, you make your way over to point number 6. Over here, there are a couple of guards that are currently on duty. They sort of look onto you as you begin your approach. Who goes there?
Just some adventurers who are helping you guys look into the murders.
You quickly show them sort of the insignia that Enmoro gave you, and they sort of stand aside and say, "Well, if you're here for a mind if you cover our backs for a little bit? We need to grab a drink or two while you do your work."
sure.
And they kind of look to you and they toss you a gold coin. And with that, they sort of lead on back into the sort of main, and you see them enter on into a nearby tavern establishment.
What's the name of the tavern?
The tavern is the Manticore's Tail.
Oh god, it's not a manticore, is it?
So strong
Okay.
drinks. Wow. Okay, I thought that was going to go the other way around. We'd have to pay them. I stuff the coin and let's investigate.
Okay, so you immediately sort of have a little look at your nearby surroundings. This is fresher than the previous trails, but again, a similar sort of theme. You see signs of struggles. You see very much signs of violence, and this time you also see the manhole cover is very much in the middle of the crime scene.
So it basically exploded out of the hole.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I do to my girlfriend every day.
Yeah, you see the manhole cover has just basically been thrown aside and is embedded in the nearby.
All right. Do you guys think there are more Driders around?
No,
Fucking dried already.
No.
doesn't fit in the manhole cover.
Small Drider?
Baby Drider.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Right. So it's same thing, yeah.
Climb down and take a look around.
Okay.
Don't
So-
break anything this time, please.
Yeah. Once more into the breach, you clamber on down. I presume it's just yourself, Z?
I assume so.
Yeah, I'm not following this time.
Yeah.
I'll come down if I need to.
Okay. So you immediately find yourselves in a freeway section. One section heads due north, the other one heads due west. Mm-hmm.
Might be a connection around here somewhere, I think.
You then sort of analyze your nearby surroundings. Can I get an investigation check?
I help.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Not too bad. So, as you look on down yonder to your west, you do notice that there is another tunnel that branches south. Probably, yeah, roughly around here or so.
okay. How
It's probably somewhere in the region of about 100 meters. Maybe a little less. You also notice that there are footprints leading from that direction.
What? You actually find footprints?
Yes, you did.
wow. I knew it.
And you notice that as you begin studying the footsteps, you see the occasional patch of ash moss in the same direction as the footsteps.
Can I equate that to a
Not particularly. This is very much in the realm of the unknown for yourself. The only thing that you might be able to ascertain, like I mentioned earlier, is that this not substance, but this plant only grows on desecrated terrain. Yeah. Nothing rings a bell. So, what do you wish to do?
let them know upstairs that I'll heading west. Guys, take the upper road. I'm gonna scout through the tunnels.
You sure? Sounds.
It's,
Do you want one of us to come with you instead? Besides you alone?
it'll be
Maybe
easier
you
for
want a
me.
new character.
It'll be easier for me to get out of trouble if you guys don't come.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're sneaky.
Be careful though.
Yes.
Don't die.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm.
Okay.
Alright. We should probably go and
Report it.
investigate.
Oh.
No, we should go and investigate the graveyard and church later as well. Because, I mean, if that ground is actually desecrated, there might be some trouble around the church. Because normally a church ground is the absolute opposite.
Sure.
Anyways, just be careful.
Yes. I tell you guys that there's a junction about 100 meters heading. Hopefully there's another sewer grate there.
Okay.
Okay. So, with that, Z, you begin heading on due west. Can I get a survival check followed by a stealth check?
Uh, 12.
Okay.
And stealth.
Please.
21.
Nice. Okay. So, with that, you begin setting on into the darkness of the sewer system. You head on about, say, 100 meters or so, and again, you ascertained earlier, there is indeed a tunnel going due south from here. Begin making your way down, following the footsteps that you found previously. They definitely seem to have come and gone from this direction multiple times. And I think from there, that's a good place to leave the session.
Oh.
It's a little bit early, but it's otherwise it's going to continue for a while. So I think that's a good place to leave it for next time.